2. Testing mark 1 2. Testing mark 1 2. Testing mark 1 2. Hello guys. Another new month. We are in February. Today is the 1st of February. We are in a new month. The 1st of February 2025. Looking forward to Valentine's Day. I hope I'll have someone to be my bride. Okay, so we are live on Facebook, Rumble, and YouTube. We are live on Facebook, Rumble, and YouTube. So I have to change this to the side because live is on. Welcome to another episode of the Tom Tombeka Unplugged podcast. Tom Tombeka Unplugged podcast, where we discuss all things international trade, intellectual property, dating and intersexual dynamics, innovations, new and emerging technology, dating and intersexual dynamics. So a new month, the 1st of February 2025, a new episode of the Tom Tombeka Unplugged podcast. And today we are going to do a reaction to Kevin Samuels, the godfather, Kevin Samuels, his high value man video. This concept of what is a high value man. When we talk about a high value man or man of status, what does that entails? What are the characteristics and the makeup of a high value man? So we are going to be reacting to Kevin Samuels, the Godfather videos. Interestingly, he did a video with the Fresh and Fit podcast and another video with the roommates and the roommate podcast. But we are going to firstly react to the roommate podcast because the audio there is of high quality, and not only being of high quality, you can really get a close look of Kevin Samuels and a direct insight into how he explained what or how value man is. So we are going to look at the high value man video, a man of status, a man of substance, a man of fame, a man of competence, knowledge, wisdom, a leader. What is a high value man? So that's what we are going to be looking at here for what a high value man is. And we are going to be reacting to Kevin Samuels, the late video. Let me share my video to some groups. We are live on Facebook, YouTube, and Rumble. Rumble is the bastion of free speech. So I'm going to share this video, this live video, on several groups, specifically on Facebook, so we can have more people following us. And we move into the discussion and react to the video of Kevin Samuels' definition or his estimation of what or how valuable it is. So I want to share this video in several groups. Make sure we have more people following, and then we can move on to react to the content. And Kevin Samuel's perspective on what a high value man is. What characteristic you need to possess to fall in the range or the category of a high value man? So guys, we have our logo. Our podcast logo have been updated. This is 2025, a new year. We have created the podcast to the Tom Tombeka Unplugged podcast. We have several topics that we'll be discussing here, beginning with our regular trade and intellectual property nexus. We have a dating and intersexual dynamics. We have innovation and emerging technologies, looking at the latest development in tech, whether it be autonomous vehicles, the latest phones, just the latest products, technological products that are on the market, and innovations that are being made for sale. Then we'll be looking at intersexual dynamics. We're looking at dating relationship between men and women, the heterosexual gender, male and female. What is the current dating market? What is the status of the current dating market? How are relationships now in terms of having hookups, the hookup culture that we know about? Most people use dating apps, the Tinder, the Bumble, the Hinge. Instagram is another big tool for dating app where people meet, interact globally. So we'll look at all these issues of the current unregulated dating market as it is, and we'll be discussing relationship, marriage. Why is the divorce rate in our current day dispensation so high? People get married for 1 or 2 months, and the next month they are divorced. The rate of breaking up the home, breaking up a marriage is at all-time high. So we are going to be also sharing our perspective on dating and intersexual dynamics as well. And male self-improvement. As a man, you are faced with a lot of challenges. Society really don't care for men issues, men related issues. Most of the men in the world now are growing, being bred alone. If you are coming from a family with a mother and a father in a home, and you are from a unique family, with that, you are lucky. Most men and men related issues are put aside, and people are not really invested in discussing issues affecting men, what of career wise, your education, improving your mental health, improving your physical health, hitting the gym, being fit and ready to move to address the challenges in life. Your male self-improvement related issues are not really addressed. So we have a limited space, a limited voices speaking to issues affecting men globally. So I am going to add my voice to the few voices out there addressing issues related to male self-improvement. are being or men or full-fledged men that have gone through the stages of manhood, from childhood to boyhood and now to manhood, and all the trials and tribulations and the challenges I face. I think I can share it with men out there and how to navigate through this difficult world. The world out there is a challenging world to face. You have to go through battles to make it. And if you do the work properly, if you invest, educate yourself, gain some competence in a specific field or in multiple fields, if you do the work properly as a man over time, maybe your 30s, your late 30s, and your 40s, you will start to gain the benefits of the investment you made as a man. So we are going to add our voice to the many voices discussing men issues because there are not many spaces and many areas where men go to listening to other men that have uh, faced challenges and tribulations that they are currently facing and how to navigate through these issues successfully. So this is one of the topics we are going to be calling male self-improvement. As a man, how to navigate the world in terms of navigating your home in the first place. If you are lucky enough, you come from a two-parent household, and you have your mother and your father, and your mother can nurture you, and your father can instill discipline and teach you how to go there in the world and battle the issues that man faces in the world. Or you are unfortunate let myself from a single mother or a single father, which is the best case scenario, or you have a male figure in your life to direct you, to teach you on how to battle challenges in the world, then that would be very good for you. So we are going to use our platform to address male self-improvement and challenges faced in the world. And lastly, politics. We are all political animals, like the great philosopher said. I'm not sure if it's Socrates or Plato, that we are all political animals, irrespective of our religion, our culture, where we are located in the world. We are all political animals. So be as it may, we'll also be discussing politics here. Politics from whom? Liberian politics. Coming from the background of politics, being a student leader at the University of Liberia, studying the science, the political science for more than 4 consecutive years before earning my bachelor's degree in political science. So I have a broad understanding of Liberian politics from the level of student politics at the University of Liberia and go into national politics from the Liberian political economy perspective. So we discuss issues, politics, Liberian politics, as well as global politics. So we are not going to limit ourselves to only Liberian politics. But now we know we have a new president, President Donald J. Trump. We are going to be somehow elevating issues that are taking place in the United States of America. We understand the executive orders that have been issued by President Donald J. Trump, and he's shaking and moving making some fundamental changes in the United States. And sometimes we will raise those issues here as well. Our key focus will be also on Liberian politics, being a Liberian myself, being a former student leader, and being someone who studied political science and earned a bachelor's degree in political science and government. I can give a clear tick from my experience participating in Liberian politics, being in opposition, being in government. I come with a wealth of experiences that I can share and give my perspective. But like I said, we are going to be reacting to the Godfather, the late Godfather Kevin Samuel's video on what a high value man is, what it entails to be a high value man. So let's go quickly here. Let's see. Let's see. What is a high value man? According to Kevin Samuels. So let's go into this video quick and see, do some reaction to this video. Kevin Samuels. Let me look at my feed again. Feed is doing well. We are live. We are live. We are live. We are live. Okay, let me just edit this. Edit this on Facebook. Oh, I'll not be able to edit now. Okay, so I can edit from here. What is a high value man? What it entails to be a high value man, a man of status, a man of competence, a man of means, a man that is respected in his community. High value man, a man of means. A man of resources, a man of wealth. So we are going to react to Kevin Samuel's video. What is a high value man? What is a high value man? What an individual need to possess to be called or to be categorized as a high value man? What is a high value man? What is a high value man? What it entails to be a high value man? So let's go into this video quickly. Kevin Samuels, the Godfather, the late Kevin Samuels, the Godfather, estimation of what a high value man is. When we are referring to an individual as a high value man, what does that entail? What are the characteristics that individual should possess? Should they be a man of wealth, a man of means, a man of competence? What is a high value man? This is the video we are going to react to. So let me pull it up. Okay, high value men, Kevin Samuel. Okay, so I think this is it. Yeah, this is it. So let me share this. So let's go into it together.
In good faith. And are you in it for?
I can't. It's gonna be generalization. Obviously, it's not gonna be. I start out. Yes, sir. So, what I really enjoyed about your content when I discovered it is your experience into really giving men hands-on practical wisdom and application. You know, one of the things I've always critiqued people on YouTube is that a lot of people are children learning from children. You know, people are going to I'm a young adult myself,
Right.
going to young adults for information. But I've always told people, why don't you start when you reverse engineer your life, find out people who are where you want to be. You know, because like you said, anybody can make money in a month. Anybody can have a nice shirt or a nice car. Who can really have a legacy? Who's had 5, 6, 7, 10 years in the game? And what you provided into the landscape is the longevity, you know, wisdom of ages. And so I've really come to appreciate that. And so my question, why did you get into this space? What made you?
Very hard line. But the top 10% of earners in this country make that $100,000 more. But that's where you tend to hear a lot of people tend to focus. Now, that's a barrier to entry. Is it hard? No. What net is a high value man is, do you have high value friends? Do you have a high value mindset? Or do you?
So, in your personal opinion, what would you define a high value male is?
Okay,
Well,
this is it.
One of the reasons I focus there is, one, because my career, like I said, college, white collar, corporate salesperson. And if you want to get to the top, you have to separate yourself from the crowd. And one of the things is, high value men determine who high value men are. There has to be a resource.
So basically, a high value man determines who another high value man is. So what that means is that basically, let me stop sharing and come back to the watch screen first. So according to Kevin Samuel's explanation is that a high value man is determined by another high value man. So there's a community of men with specific that lies in specific parameter in terms of their income, their competence, and this recognition of a high value man is not personal. It's not me saying, oh, I'm a high value man. I have to demonstrate it through my actions, through my career, through my respect in a specific community. So it's not a determination to be made by myself, oh, I am a high value man. It's never a way of identifying. It's a way that people identify you, your community, at your workplace, what you do, your wealth, your experience, your leadership, your wisdom, your competence. And among your peers are young men or other men aspiring to be you, to walk in your steps, or to learn from you, for you to give them tutelage, that wisdom and knowledge, to follow your path, career-wise, as a man. So you need to be identified by a community of men, a community of men and women that you have demonstrated through your actions, the wealth, what you have achieved, your achievements. So being a high value man is not something you can boast of personally and say, oh, I am a high value man. because I've done X, Y, Z. No, your community of peers, a community, the young people within that your community giving you the recognition because you have demonstrated through your achievement that you are a high value man, and they want to learn from you. They want to come under your tutelage, your leadership, to share, to acquire some of the competencies you have. So you need to be recognized as a high value man from the perspective of community of other high value men. So that go further into the video. So guys, you can't go out there and say, oh, I'm a high value man, I'm a high value man. It's not something you say to yourself, I am a high value man. No, your community should recognize you from your achievement, your action, your leadership, and your competence that you are a high value man. That's how it works.
Component. There has to be a money amount. I mean, like I said, you can't be high value and homeless. So you have to be able to make the money. You also have to have it be consistent over a long period of time.
So let me stress. Let me go over that. Let me go over that. You can be high value and homeless. Maybe you are just a bullshitter. You cannot be high value and what homeless. Meaning you haven't demonstrated through your action, through your life. And high value is not only limited to dollar and cents. High value is also speaks to your influence in your community, among your peers, and wherever you are, be it social gathering, be it career-wise at your workplace. If you can demonstrate that other people are influenced positively and your community or society is positively influenced by your actions, then you are a high value man to a certain extent, to a certain degree, but it comes to a combination of other characteristics, and finances is key to being a high value man. How much do you earn on a monthly basis or annually? Finances is key to being a high value man. But being financially potent or fluent or financially viable is not the only characteristic that is required to be called a high value man. You can be a financially successful individual, but you are not a positive influence on your community, on the society as a whole. You might have people aspiring to walk in your path, maybe because you are a criminal and you earn your money through corruption or whatsoever illegal means you use to earn that money. It doesn't make you a high value man. You have to have a deeper understanding of how the world works. You have a lot of money and you don't understand your way around the opposite gender. You don't understand your way around women. You don't understand the dating market, how to navigate that. So you could be a wealthy individual, a very successful individual with a lot of resources, and you get finesse. You become a simp because you don't know your value. So there are a lot of components and characteristics that can determine what a high value man is. So finances is key, but finances is not the only characteristic that make you a high value man. You need wisdom, knowledge, and competence. You need to understand, have a deeper understanding of the dating market. How to navigate women. Do you have what women call the vibes? Can you give women the vibe? Are you charismatic with women? Do you understand your way around the ladies? Do other young men aspire to be you, to walk in your path based on your achievement? Are you respected among your peers? These are all issues. But let me go follow into Kevin Samuels, the late Godfather.
Season, anybody can be Jeremy Lin, but you're not gonna get to the Hall of Fame. Then you have to have a network, and then it has to be confirmed by other people. Generally, we use as a ballpark, like making $10,000 a month. That ticks a lot of people off because that.
So basically, let me stop the sharing and go to this. So $10,000 a month. That is the benchmark or the standard for the United States of America to determine, to meet the requirement, the financial requirement for being a high value man in the United States. $10,000 a month. And you make well over 100,000 plus annually. So you fall in that category. That could be basically 5% of earners in the United States, irrespective of their gender. It could be male, female, heterosexual, homosexual, obese person, fat person, dry person, irrespective. Earning $100,000 or plus put you in that category and qualifies you as a high value individual meeting the financial component. But he also stressed that you need to be respected among your peers. Young people or people in your peer group need to aspire to be you. They recognize you and respect you for what you do as a man. So there are many characteristics and components that is required. It could be 10,000 in the United States of America or 5,000 in certain part of Europe. In Africa, it could be less, but you need to meet that financial benchmark as a determination of meeting the financial component of being a high value man. There are a lot of components that you need to meet, but finances is key, and that should be demonstrated through your work, through businesses, career, your investment, and all of that. And the 10,000 for the United States is basically for income purposes. So let's continue with the video.
But the top 10% of earners in this country make that $100,000 or more. But that's where you tend to hear a lot of people tend to focus. Now, that's a barrier to entry. Is it hard? No. What net is a high value man is, do you have high value friends? Do you have a high value mindset? Or do you have a high value network? And are you being used? Yes, you.
Okay, so let's recap on that. High value net worth. Do you have a high value net worth? Do you have a high value net worth? Let me I want to stop sharing the screen. Do you have a high value? Okay, so let me stop sharing the screen and speak to this. Okay, so Kelvin Samuel made mention of not only your making 10,000 United States dollars annually for those in the United States, but also being recognized by your peers, a community of peers, also meeting the requirement of people aspiring to walk in your path, but also a key component has to do with your mindset. Do you have a progressive mindset? Your mindset is very key. It's everything that even places you in that position to become a high value man, to meet the requirement of the financial component, to meet the requirement of the social component, your community and your peers and comrades respecting you for what you do as a man. All stems from your mindset, the way you think, the way you work, and the way you live your life. So your mindset is key. From the beginning, you might not have the high value man mindset. The beginning of a career, maybe you started working at McDonald's, and you was in college at the same time studying, and you develop yourself maybe after 10, 20, 30 years of hard work or making positive decisions, using the money, saving enough money when he was at McDonald's to go to school, paying your bills and all of that, but also saving enough cash and resources to make future investment. Graduating from college, getting that new job, a much better paying than the one you did at McDonald's, adapting the same mindset and approach to save after paying all your bills. Are you saving up to 50 to 60% to 70% of what you earn your income? Or are you investing your time and resources in flashy things, the clothes, the cars, the expensive trips, the vacations, and all the chicks, the beaches, smashing here and there? What is your focus? What is your mindset? So mindset is very key. From my perspective, is what places you on the path to reach the success of becoming a high value man. Your mindset, your mentality. Coming from a third world country like Liberia, poverty striking, and all the difficulties we face from childhood to boyhood and manhood, to triumph over all the obstacles and reach this stage. I can testify of what it is to be a man of substance, a man of status. So your mindset is key. If you have a low mentality or victim mentality or poverty mentality, you will not achieve the outcome or goal of being a high value man, a man of status, a man of wealth, a man of means, a man of leadership and competence. So what is your mindset? Your mindset is critical in determining whether you are a high value person or not.
Should be used because you are useful. It's almost impossible to be high value and useless. So that's why we kind of focus on this whole high value thing, because it is a bar that needs to be pushed. It needs to be rare. It needs to be hard to get to. And it needs to be more than money, because if you just said it was all about money, then anybody with a bunch of money could be high value. But we know that's not true.
Exactly. That's my point. That's my point. Anybody with money could be hard value, but that's not truth, because it takes more than just having money. It takes more than that. What is your mindset? You could have a good mindset of creating wealth, making money, or you could be a nerd. Let me take this thing from share before I don't want to stress it. You could be a nerd. You are very studious, but you're not good with the ladies. very studious, you know your way around work, you will know how to invest. But in terms of the ladies, you are not good. You're not good with impacting your community. And so you will get finesse. People will be attracted to you for your finances only. Out of your finances, you are zero. That is a wrong way for people to recognize you. So it's more than just your money. It's more than that.
It is what it is.
And here's something that, like, one of the things I like to do when I consume content, and I challenge all the audience to do, is I try to understand what the communicator is trying to say. I'll try to infer using my own opinion. I don't let my emotions react. I like to really think critically about what you're communicating. And one thing that you've communicated on multiple occasions is being high value, man, does not mean that if you're not high value, it doesn't mean that you're valueless.
Right.
Exactly.
Right? You can live a perfectly happy, amazing, content, great life without being high value male. You talk about that all the time.
All the time.
But one of the big things that you're saying is that you've noticed that a lot of people aspire to be high value male, right? And so if you want to be
So let me come over that. Let me make a comment over that. That is key. That is critical. Stop sharing here. So guys, the issue is not high value men is obviously the pentacle, the best of the best in terms of the general population of men within a specific or a given country, location, or environment. The high value men are the top. That's a fact. The doctors, the engineers. I'm not saying only because you hold a title doctor, but you are pulling in the box. You are making the money that equates to that title, not just an empty title on you. So the doctors, the lawyers, the engineers, the top earners in that community will be considered the high value men, the best of the best, and the top 1 to 10% of men within that given country. That's high value. That's the epitome of what the general population of men aspires to be. A high value man, a man respected in his community, a man of means and resources, of men of competence, leadership, of men of demonstrated wealth and achievement. That's the aspiration of the general masses of men within a given society or community, a high value man. But needless to say that if you are not in that 1 to 10% category of men within a given community, need not to say that you are not important. You could be a middle class man. Like I was when I was in my society, Liberia, a middle class earner, civil servant. You could be working in corporate, in the business sector, in private sector. You're earning a middle income. you can cater to your bills, take care of your family, meet all your needs and some of your wants. You are a middle income earner. You can do well and live happily. But that's not your limitation. You can even go higher than that. So that is not your limitation, guys. Being a middle income earner doesn't mean that you cannot live a happy life. You can live a happy and successful life. So you don't necessarily need to be a high value man to enjoy everything in life. It doesn't mean you have failed if you are not in the 10% of earners within a given country or society. So guys, that category of men, high value men, the 1 to 10% of men in a specific country, is what the general population of men aspires to be. And even as a middle income earner, your aspiration is to do better. If you have that mindset, the do better mindset, never give up. Never give up on your dreams and aspiration to do better, to do more. You will aspire to be a high value man. And below the middle income earners, you have the low income earners and the unemployed, the losers, people in the streets, the homeless. So guys, we are not against middle. You are earning a well-earned living. You can meet your needs. You can meet some of your wants. You can live happily. But the aspiration is to do better and go better, go further as a high man. So this is no shade against middle income earner because I myself was in a category as a middle income earner. So let's go further in the video. I like that he expand on that. Exactly.
Anybody can play basketball and be happy playing basketball. If you want to make it to the NBA, there's some types of qualifications you need to make it there.
Exactly. And see, people tend to want to have a high value lifestyle. One of the biggest things that I've become synonymous on YouTube is this hashtag show your work. See, the work tells the truth. The suit looks nice, the gift of gab, ha ha ha, but you know what? Shut up, turn off the volume, and look at the work. Yeah. The work is either here or it's here. Men across the world, men from time immemorial, people respect work. And that's the difference. Talent is wasted every day. Ability is wasted every day. Depending if you're a sports fan, you can go to the NFL, NBA, MLB, and see plenty of people who had possibility and potential but never functioned. But the people who actually put in the work. Now, the other side of it, I make a distinction between you don't have to be white collar, you don't have to be blue collar. It's all in are you useful? And if you aren't high value, that doesn't mean you're nothing. No. That just means you're not over here. Look, everybody doesn't want to drive a Ferrari. You may just have a great F-150 truck and love it. That's it.
I love that, and it's so interesting because Gary Vee talks about that a lot.
So I like to stress on that. Also, the vehicle comparison. Let me stress on that. So, like Kevin Samuel said, the car comparison in terms of maybe it could be expanded to the house comparison, the clothes comparison, family comparison, the care, You give one to your family, the schools your children go to, and all the comfort of life that you receive, making a comparative analysis of what a high value man, family, or he himself is receiving as opposed to what a low income earner is receiving. So no shit is a clear example of a middle income earner. And being a public servant, an assistant director working in government, earning a middle income level of a middle income amount. I saved, there were opportunities which I did save. I bought myself a Nissan Amira. So a used vehicle, Nissan Amira, comfortable for me, took me to work, took me on occasion, went out with my family, very comfortable for me. It doesn't mean that the guy next to the high value man that is driving a Bentley is living happier than me. I would be comfortable as a middle income earner in my Nissan Amira. I can give my family the opportunity to take them to work, to take them to school, and move comfortably. My house will not be a mansion. My house is not a mansion. It's not fenced. It's not that big, but it's comfortable for my family. My property, my real estate is comfortable enough for my family. So I don't have a mansion. I don't have several houses and properties around Liberia, but I have what I have. Comfortable for my family. All have our rooms, living rooms, dining rooms, garage, and everything. So a middle income earner can live a happy and successful life. But based on that individual mentality that got him from the homeless, from the losers, from the low income, and he transitioned to middle income, that mentality that drove him can also drive him to aspire to be a high value man. So this is the demonstration of what we are saying. Aspire to do better as a high value man. Creating wealth, providing leadership, demonstrating that you deserve respect and gaining that respect from your community of peers, your social community, your achievements can speak volume of who you are, the assets you have acquired, not only limited to the wealth, but the assets and how you able to manage them. So high value man, the characteristic of a high value man entails many things. And there are many components you need to achieve in order to be a high value man. Let's go further with this video. Then we'll end this and look at the one on fresh and fit. We'll not go deeper into it, but okay. So we'll end this here.
Like, you don't have to have these things to be happy.
Right.
And one of the big things, going back to some of the high value conversation, is you make reference to people want the high value lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
They want the cars, they want the power, they especially want the women, you know, and so what happens is, and I love that. I love how you do it.
Right.
Because you're honest. You're like, if you want these results, you have to put in this work. If you want this output, it requires this input. So you're hearing all these guys complaining, well, I want to have this woman. I want to have this respect. I want to have this kind of power and prestige. And you're like, well, if you want those things, you yourself as a man must have these things, but a lot of people feel as though they should get the benefits without any of the work.
Right. One of the things we've done in the country is Gary Vee often talks about. I don't believe in eighth place trophies.
Yeah.
I talk about men should be CIA, confident, intelligent, and assertive. To become the best version of yourself, if men are just living that way. But the A is the most important part, asserting. You have to do something. This eighth place trophy, everybody gets a prize. There are no losers. It's not real. This is a competitive, capitalistic society, and there are winners and losers. And here's the thing. I always ask guys to understand, know your why, start with why. Good book, by the way, pick it up, Simon Sinek, start with why. And then chart your path. There are people who are making $50,000 living off the grid who are ecstatic. And there are people who are ready to ready to exit this planet earning more and on medication. Know why you want to do it. That's why I think social media has been great for us. I'm glad I lived during this time, but there has to be moderation. Having this lifestyle, if you're not that person.
So let me expand on that. Making 50,000 United States dollars for the US, people living in the US, that could be an average annual salary. And for the general population, and men on the average make somewhere 45,000 to 50,000 annually in the United States of America. Minimum wage. So if you fall in that bracket and you understand how to manage your income, pay your taxes, possibly save 1 or 2 cents on that, and you know how to manage your income, you can live a happy life. You don't need to make 100,000 or above 100,000 to be in that high value make category before living a happy life. So it depends on where you are as an individual, how much you make, how to manage your resources, your income. If you want to be the fancy individual, you're making 50K per month, or you're making minimum wage in whatsoever country you are located. For example, Liberia, you make minimum wage, but you want to live flashy. You want to live in the biggest apartment. You want to eat chicken every day and the flashy clothes and all of that. You have to manage your resources properly. So irrespective of where you are in society, whether low income, middle income, minimum wage, how do you manage your resources? What is your income expended on? Are you saving to invest in future investment? Are you saving? You can make minimum wage and stay safe. Yes, you can make minimum wage and save. In the United States, could be 50K for minimum wage and save and live a happy life. So you don't need to be a millionaire or multi-millionaire of all these 6-figure, 7-figure, and 8 figures. You don't need to make all this money to be happy. So let's go back to the video and end there.
Gordon Gekko, I'm kind of more right in here. And I like being right in here. I can appreciate Gordon Gekko and that kind of stuff, movie called Wall Street. Yeah. But knowing yourself and knowing what fits me. So I think one of the things when people talking about high value is a mindset. If you can actually understand, rate yourself well, always push yourself to be the best, then good things will tend to follow. And that's where the fall down, because most people don't want to continue to push. They want to get to a point to where they can put the up. How many times they're like, man, I love what you guys are doing. Man, I wish I could do what you guys do. It'd be great to be a content creator and, just make videos, get paid for them. Like, you think that's all it is, huh? We just make a video and get paid for it. Okay. There's a lot of work that goes on behind it. You see about 5% of the cool stuff, and the other 95 is, what did Elon Musk say? Eating glass while staring into the abyss.
Wow.
That's the other part of it that no one sees.
Yeah, I love it. There's this image I saw on going around social media about the iceberg. And it talks about success is just the tip of the iceberg. And then below the surface, 90% of the mass is hard work, perseverance, long nights, suffering, difficulty.
Brother, I got stories. I got stories.
I can only imagine. But one thing that you said that I think to me is probably the coldest thing you do, but the best thing that you do. And you talked about ranking yourself.
Yes.
I think one of the biggest problems in today is people lack self-awareness.
Yes.
You have people right now, and no due respect if you're a short man, but who are 5'2", wanting to be the starting center for the Lakers.
Yes. You can want it. I get it.
So why do you feel as though a lot of people have, and before we begin, to people who don't believe in objective measurements of ranking yourself or evaluating yourself, what would be your defense to the objectivity? Or obviously nothing's perfect, but there is a way of ranking and understanding where you're at in grand scheme of life.
Where'd you graduate in high school? Were you valedictorian?
So that's a very critical point to stress on. Ranking yourself in life. Every society for that matter, have a classification. There are classes of people in every society. The first class, the upper class, the upper echelon of that society, the middle class, the lower class, and the rest people in poverty, striking abject poverty. But every society is divided into class. The people that live in that society is divided into different classes. You are not going to compare yourself with the richest man or the billionaire in Switzerland. Who am I to compare myself with a billionaire in Switzerland? I know my class, I know my place. Even as young people, young kids coming up, we know our class. You can understand the treatment, the comfort other people get, and what you get from your home. Why these other people are treated specially, and I'm not getting the same treatment. So from your very early childhood age, kindergarten, you will not be well aware or abreast about the happiness around you, but over time, gradually, 5, 6, 7 years old, you see how you are treated, you see how your peers are treated, you see how the mother look, the father look, you know where do they work, you now have a deeper understanding of the work they do. But you know they're doing something important to give the treatment that the children receive in them, the special comfort they have, the things they have, and the things that your parents or parent cannot afford. So you understand from the very childhood going to school, in a community, in a society where you live, as a child, you begin to understand gradually over time the classification of society, what you get, the advantages and disadvantages of being in a specific class of society. So this guy, this is guys. One thing I know as men, we have to be logical and not emotional. If you are a woman, you can be emotional and go scot-free. If you are a man, you're emotional, nobody care. Nobody care about your emotions. So we have to use logic to analyze our environment. So this hierarchy of high value men, middle income earner, low income earner, and people in abject poverty of the society, the homeless, and what have you, is in every society, is embedded in every society. The lowest, the highest, the western, every society, the modern society is a part of structure. And India is a very classical case. They have the class society in India. I remember I studied this back in at the university in college. The class system of India is a very interesting class system to understand. So in every society, it's not only restricted with value men. High value men is the top echelon of the males within a given society. However, under that, we have the middle income earners, you have the low income earners. So you are going to be categorized by your standing within a given community or society, irrespective, regardless of how you think, whether you want to be emotional or logical about it. But I am using this platform to advise every man, irrespective of where you stay in society. I know what I stood when I was a kid, brought up by a single parent, a single mother. I know what I stood. The disadvantages I had, although there were few advantages I had also. But I never buried my head in the sand to say, I'm a victim. That victim mentality, that because of X, Y, and Z, giving myself all the justifiable in my mind excuses not to make progress, not to succeed, not to do what was required of me. I put all the victim mindset back. I let all the victim mindset, the poor excuses down. And as a man, I have to face in left head. What was required of me as a child, I had to do it. Go to school, go to college. Interestingly, after I graduated from high school, I sat for 3 years. My mother had to struggle to pay my first semester fee in college. And that was the contribution. She set me on the path of paying my first year tuition in college. And from there, the second semester scholarship. Engaged in sportsmanship. I was on the track and field team. She found a job for me to work as a cadet, an office boy working in a government institution. Not on salary, no stopping whatsoever, but I needed to go there, have the office clean, and provide, assist the staffers in that office while in college. So I did what I had to do as a man, irrespective. I could have been crying and wailing, providing all the excuses. I'm a victim. I don't have father in my life. My father is a loser, is a bum, and all that. But I did what I had to do as a man. After I succeeded, earned my first bachelor's degree 2013. In 2010, I began to pursue my second bachelor's degree at the University of Liberia, Political Science and Government. So regardless of your situation, your standing in society, you will always be classified. Every society is a classified society. So guys, you need to understand that and live with that. Nobody care about your problem. The few of us that have voices to speak on men's issue and male self-improvement, what is required of you, what you need to do to succeed in life, but the general society don't care. So let's move forward. Let me end this video here. Let me end it here. I'll just go. I'll only watch the. We're only going to watch the.
Salutatorian was the first loser. I mean, we've always ranked ourselves, and most of us stopped ranking ourselves. I get it.
So why do you feel as though a lot of people have but before we begin, to people who don't believe in objective measurements of ranking yourself or evaluating yourself, what would be your defense to the objectivity? Or obviously nothing's perfect, but there is a way of ranking and understanding where you're at in the grand scheme of life.
Where'd you graduate in high school? Were you valedictorian? Salutatorian was the first loser. I mean, we've always ranked ourselves, and most of us stopped ranking ourselves where we stopped being managed by others. If you played sports, there was a ranking. You were either a starter or you weren't. Then you had that was on your team. Then you had to compete in your league. Then you had your city, your state. And guess what? Every year you found out how good you really were. Every year someone graduates valedictorian of Acme High School, and they were the ish all during their career. Then they go off to university and realize you're just one of 400 in a class.
Exactly.
Rankings. We have stopped ranking ourselves because we want everyone to feel good and everyone gets an 8th place trophy. And that's unrealistic. We've told everyone things that just be you and be happy and this and that. And that is not how it works for men. Men are judged upon our work and our output. Every company you work for. If you're a worker, believe this. There is an organizational chart, and every year companies go and draw a red line and they get rid of dead weight. There is a ranking. Everything is a ranking. And coming from a sales background, my job. I had to make my quota every month in, month out. Every month I was a 0. Yeah. So it starts that way of realizing that you're only as good as your last close. And see, that's for some people, they would think that's burnout. For me, that's exciting, because the worst thing I could feel like being is a fake. Oh, you look good, but can you perform? Okay. So even what you'll find about competitive men is they'll be competitive in a lot of different areas. You know, Michael Jordan would talk about how he was competitive at golf and all of the kind of things. If you know a competitive person, they're competitive on video games, chess, martial arts, work, such and so forth. And it's all because they are trying to push themselves to become something greater than they were yesterday.
Yeah. So. No, and I think the beauty of the ranking is, I've always said it's okay not to be okay. It's not okay to stay there. Right? So there's this idea where there's people right now who don't want to face the reality of where they're at.
Yes.
They don't want to face the reality of, okay, maybe you're overweight. They want to face the reality of maybe you don't have a high position in your job. You're not respected. So they want to be oblivious to that. But if you don't know where you're at, right, then you don't know the steps to work to improve to where you need to be. And so I feel as though one of the things that you're trying to do is you're not trying to shame people. You're not trying to, harass people or just make fun of people. You just want people to understand this is where you're at now so that you can know where you need to go in the future.
Well, as an image consultant, I am a consultant and a eye mage. I mean, I work almost like a physician. Your oncologist can have the nicest bedside manner, but if you have stage 4 leukemia, he has to tell you what you have. See, I'm an image consultant, but I've always done something. I don't know. Have you ever taken spin class? You know what spin class is? Yeah. I'm a cyclist, and I used to teach spin class. And when I would say, okay, crank it up to 10, we're climbing this hill. And I could tell when they would sit down there and look like they're turned up, but I can see you're bobbling on the seat. I'm like, your tension's not turned up. And I say, you know what? You don't have to. But remember this, you got to see you naked getting out of the shower. You know what? I would hear, and I'd see people turn down and crank it down, and I'd start to see them work. And see, but people start, here's the thing. When we do work to get better, we feel better about ourselves. You may go to bed tired. You may go to, maybe aching. But if you've ever worked hard at something and felt and been happy with the the work you put in, you sleep good.
Yeah.
See, what I'm trying to get people to do is avoid regret. And if you've never spent any time with elderly people, one of the things you realize is towards the end of life, people don't talk about all the money, all of this, all of that. They talk about the things they regret not doing. I regret not taking this shot, moving here, talking to this woman, taking that. I'm like, you know what? I just have no regrets. And complacency, being just happy with this, if you're really not truly happy with it, you're going to be setting yourself up for a lot of regret.
No, I really enjoy that part because the complacency is something that's big. And then the one thing that I realized is that I think it comes from a lack of masculine energy and a masculine presence in a lot of people's lives. Because when you think about it, no disrespect to mothers, moms have do an amazing job. You know, they always say they did the best they could with the tools that they had. But what happens is mom usually will baby you.
Yes.
Mom will usually tell you what you want to hear. Mom probably doesn't want to hurt your feelings. Mom probably will say, well, it's okay, Billy, you got 9th place, but you're a winner in my eyes. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like mom will give that. But then that is that harsh truth. That is that objective kick in the butt that you don't want to hear in the moment because it doesn't feel good, but it's what you do need to hear.
Right.
Because if you don't know that 9th place isn't good, then you're going to be complacent and just settle for 9th place your whole life.
Right. And see, 80% of the Black community, unfortunately, is born to single mothers. Yeah. So I'm a product of a single mother. But the thing that I had going for me is a old school grandfather and an old school uncle. And I grew up in a very Cosby-esque school, but I lived in the hood. So I lived in the hood, but I saw how the middle class Cosby folks lived. And what I saw is I saw men at every level. See, at the school I went to, the people you went to first grade with were the same people you graduated high school with. 77 people. Wow. So I got a lot of extended cousins from Millwood High School. There you go. And the thing is, my 3rd grade teacher was a man. My 6th grade teacher was a man. Throughout my high school, I had half my teachers were men. The principal was a man. The superintendent was a man. And I saw men in power positions. So even though I didn't have a dad at home, I had male expectations. And the thing I had to work the most of is getting that female energy up out of myself because I didn't have dad there. And that was a hard pill to swallow, man. It was a hard pill to swallow because the world is competitive. Because mom, like you said, wants to make you feel good. Dad has to make sure you know how to hunt, you know how to fish, you can build a shelter, you know how to get water, you know how to protect yourself. Okay, you can survive in the wild on your own. That is a father's responsibility, your survival. Mom's responsibility is your nurturing. And today, sadly, I don't know if you, I'm going a little geek right here, but if you watch like dystopian kind of stuff, Book of Eli, Walking Dead, what happens when the world shuts down? Who tends to get out of here the first? The people who have no actual.
So that's it. I think the concept of a high-value man was discussed lengthily. So this is the essence of this video today, looking at the estimation from Kevin Samuels on what a high-value man is. And so we discussed that lengthily, about an hour plus. And so I would like to end this video here. So guys, thanks for following. Thanks for your support. I appreciate it. We are on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok. And right now I was trying to verify if our Rumble account is live. No, it's not live. So we have to do some working to get our Rumble account activated. But we are on, so far so good, we are on Facebook and Rumble combined. We have to extend our outreach outside of Facebook to YouTube. YouTube is going to be the youth channel. There will be certain point in time that when we start the podcast, maybe 30 to 15 minutes into the podcast, then we switch to exclusively on YouTube. So YouTube is going to be the major move away. But for now, we are going to be on 3 channels: YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok or Twitch. You can switch between Rumble, Twitch, and TikTok. But for now, the YouTube account is not active. So we are going to work on that, maybe to expand our subscriber. Guys, please support us by subscribing, liking the video, commenting. Let our video be in the algorithm. Let the algorithm be able to catch our video to send it out there to more people. So please comment, please like, please share. Please, guys. This is all we ask of you. Your like, your share, and comment is all we ask of you going forward. Eventually, we'll have to open an online store for this podcast where we sell merch for our fans, our audience, our supporters. So we have t-shirts, we have hoodies, we have jackets, we have cups, everything for the fan base. Eventually, we'll have on this podcast. So thank you for following. We'd like to end here. I ask you to always support us, support our work. Yeah, it's the QR code. We put the QR code on for you to support our work. This is the QR code. So you scan the QR code, and that's how you will be able to support us to buy a hot cup of cappuccino coffee. And this is how you support us. So we ask you for your support, guys. And we end the podcast right here and right now. So we end our live stream here and now. Bye, guys. We see you next week. Next week for another episode of the podcast. We see you. Bye.